So what were your final thoughts on the Browns game?
Fuck this shit.
Welcome back to the Rivalry, your one-stop shop on all Seahawks 49ers rivalry news. Here on Wednesdays. Sorry we're a bit late. My fault again, as always. How you doing there, buddy? You hanging in there?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. You know how things go. It's fucking middle of the week. We just lost, so there's no victory 6-0 week like there was the last couple weeks. Like every day was victory day. So
Is that the worst part? Like just waiting until you get to go back out there and hopefully prove everybody wrong again. You
no,
know,
not really, because well, like, do you know who we're playing?
I'll look right now. I just had some stats
Primetime
pull up
Kirk Cousins
in
on
prime
Monday
time.
night. Yes.
Oh yeah, you guys are good.
So we're in Minnesota. Um, it shouldn't be, you should never look past anything. But if stereotypes and nicknames are true, well, we've got this one in the bag. But we need to show that we can get back to what we were doing. Obviously, the Browns put put something on tape on us, essentially to show people what they needed to do to stifle our offense. And yeah, that I hope
That's why you
people
take
can't
the
repeat
under,
it.
folks. Me and Ryan had an argument about this on Friday night. I said take the under. Usually I'm wrong, but I'll rub that one in your face there. I
Bro,
said Cleveland's defense is good.
yeah, who thought they were going to win with their backup quarterback throwing 2 interceptions, no touchdowns? Woo, little tickle in the back of the throat.
Yeah, no, that's kind of where I wanted to go here a little bit first. So I'm gonna read you some stats, and this will be the Seahawks Bengals game. And obviously, we know the Hawks lost in a very close game.
Yeah.
Just couldn't seal it there at the end, which sucks. But I just want to read these to you. Time of possession. We had 34. They had 26, basically.
Real quick, shout out to Brent Culp. Shout out Brian Culp in the chat.
Yeah, Brian, you're going to
Yep.
have to wait at least another 4 years for the Niners to have a chance to beat Cleveland in Cleveland. So that's kind of shitty. We haven't beat Green Bay in Green Bay since '99. So,
That's not 84 though.
no, I get it. But here, time possession, basically 34 minutes to 26 minutes in favor of the Seahawks. Rushing was poor for both teams. We had 87 yards. They had 46 yards. We had 3.5 yards per carry. They had 3.1. Passing, we had 297 yards. They had 168. We were 5 for 12 on first down. They were 3 for 11. And let's see here. There was one more step. So total yards, we outgained them 384 to 214. But here's what killed us right here. Red zone. We were 1 for 5 in the red zone. They were 2 for 2.
Ooh.
Yeah. And I don't know if you remember me talking much. Maybe you watched the game. When we played the Panthers. No, the Panthers game 3 weeks ago.
I don't remember if I watched that one.
With the first half, we kicked 5 field goals. We had no red zone offense, and in the second half, we addressed it. And that was just, it seemed like a extension of that game. Gino threw 2 interceptions. One of them was his fault. The other one, the Seahawks have an issue, and it's number 14 on the offense. His attitude last game was just completely unacceptable. Unnecessary roughness penalty again on first down. Okay, so it took us from, what was it? It was after the play on first down, so it took us from a 2nd and 6 to 2nd and 21. Thankfully, the play after, Gino just threw a dot to Tyler Lockett, but then later that drive, Gino throws an interception. But I'd like to point out another thing, that interception was definitely Gino's fault. Gino threw another interception that game where DK just quit running his route. And it was basically, there was nobody around the defender because DK just quit running his route. And he seems to be an issue this year. So let's see how that is going forward.
That's something that
Lingers.
how to put this? I thought it would be something that over time he would grow up, but it seems like it's getting more often. You know what I mean? Like he's going.
And what's crazy is in his interviews, yeah, I got to grow up. Yeah, I made a mistake, but that's old me. But then he keeps doing it, and it's like, I get it, you're emotional, but stop. Like, what? Get a therapist, dude. We need to start a GoFundMe for DK to afford a therapist, because maybe that's what he needs.
If you want to be a tart little diva, do it on the sidelines. Like if I'm gonna do something, I want to go. I'm gonna take my rage out. I'm gonna get on the sidelines and I'll go throw my helmet. You know why? I can't get a penalty for that, but I can. You know what? If I really need to do something and get some frustration out, that's something I can do, right? And then I'm going to look at myself after doing that. This is me personally. So like after I do that fit of rage thing, I'm just going to look at myself. Oh, now I got to go pick my fucking helmet up and look like a big tough guy because I threw a fucking helmet. You know what I mean? Like that's what goes on in my head after that shit. But sometimes but you got to do it somewhere else. You can't get penalties.
And it is so weird because on the sideline, everybody respects him. Everybody on the team respects him. And he's fine, but it's like in the heat of the moment, he's the exact opposite of what your typical diva wide receiver would be. He's not on the sidelines yelling at the quarterback. He's not kicking the kicking net and having it fall on his head. He's not a distraction off the field. It is insane. I've never had somebody.
It's like that. He doesn't have both traits of a normal diva.
Exactly.
He's just got the on the field stuff.
And let's be honest, he's built like Cam Chancellor. So a lot of these hits that he is getting penalized for, if he wasn't so fucking strong, it probably wouldn't knock the guy right on his back. I'd say that. He's one of those guys. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He plays whistle to whistle and he blocks late. Okay, which is a good trait to have, but then again, when you're so far away from the play and it's not affecting the play, the ref's going to call that 10 times out of 10, right? So
when you're on the backside of the play, you need to kind of know where the play is going and when your job is done. And kind of,
20 years ago, if he was doing that, he'd probably be fine.
Well, hey, this is the other thing. If you want to be dominant like that, just put his ass on the ground, like pancake his ass. That's perfectly legal. Now get up the field and go. You just dusted and disgusted him. Now go up there, and we got a guy, Jawan Jennings, right? This guy gives defensive backs fits because he blocks so well. You know what I mean? And he's just an ornery asshole when it comes to it. But he's so good at not acting up. Like something happened a couple games ago, and like he was yelling and talking, but he was getting, he was letting his homeboys grab him and take him out because they didn't want him getting a penalty. But most of the times he just stands there and takes it because he knows like there's going to be a penalty off this, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Or there's a chance to, and he knows that the moment you start doing shit like that, I got you, I'm in here, you know what I mean? And once you're in somebody's brain, it's not a good thing.
Yeah, I'd like to be contrary to most Seahawks fans right now. Geno Smith does not seem like the issue. I get the red zone. He was not the best in the red zone last game, which is
Were they giving him more pressure in the red zone? Were they bringing more guys?
very, very much so. And the field is compressed.
Was it
There
different than throughout the normal like stretch of the field, would you say? Because that might be it right there. He
a
goes
little
down the
bit.
field, not getting all that pressure. Then all of a sudden he's, every play he's got something coming from a different area. He's having to make different decisions. And, when you're trying to be careful with the ball,
Mhm. Yeah, especially
that
after you threw 2 picks already. So the first play, I want to maybe it was second and goal. I don't know. He just got knocked on his ass. Like there was literally no room for him to do anything. Gets knocked on his ass. He could have tried to force it in, but he didn't. And this was after he threw 2 picks already. Like I said, I'll call it 1.5 because who knows if DK keeps running his route, maybe he'll at least compete and it'll be an incompletion. Yeah, those are my negatives. The red zone offense has to improve. Let's just ground and pound him in the red zone. Let's do that. I'm fine with ground and pound it 3 times a kick and a field goal at this point because it's ridiculous.
we got Tony Culp in the house.
Oh, what's up, Tony?
Ladies of the Empire, check it out Saturday at 5:00 Pacific Standard Time, 8:00 Eastern
PM, by the way.
PM.
Um, let's go to your negatives. Let's get all the negatives out of the way.
Oh gosh. Well, the offense looked horrible, and the
Okay.
defense looked completely uncharacteristic of themselves.
Did it look like? So I only watched the very end of the game. I didn't even watch Moody miss a field goal. That's how it ended, right?
Yes.
So I didn't know that. I just look. I was so pissed about the Seahawks game, right? Because it ended on the last play. I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna go outside and just do yard work. So so yeah, tell me, did it seem like they just rolled in expecting to win the game, kind of like how it felt with the Seahawks versus the Rams earlier? Or
No, they were tuned up. There was a skirmish before the game. They were talking some shit. Debo pushed somebody. Somebody went to go at Debo. Trent Williams pushed somebody so hard his helmet came off. Then I can't remember who got hurt first. Trent Williams goes down for a play or so. Debo comes out. Christian McCaffrey, about when was it? Third quarter? Third quarter went out and had an oblique, and he came back in for a play and then was out the rest of the game. Debo went to the locker room before halftime, and it was pretty much like they were going to check things out, like get some x-rays, I'm guessing, to see what they could see. And yeah, it was Trent Williams came back in, but he left with a boot on. So it's a high ankle. I'm pretty sure it's a high ankle sprain. And we'll see if he's playing this week. We were like,
flat.
yeah, Brandon Ayuk started off dropping balls. Then you have Purdy, who was overthrowing him at times. Purdy, the grip on the ball was a little suspect in this game. People bring up his hand size. I think maybe he should be practicing with a glove. That's my thought. Maybe he should be practicing with a glove and playing game time with a glove when it's rainy. Wet down the balls and such, so he's used to it. Other people were bringing up the fact maybe he has some grip strength. They were talking about the Seahawks game, how in the playoffs, how when it was raining, he wasn't able to do much, and then all of a sudden when the sun came out in the second half, our offense picked up. So there's a lot of things you can draw lines to, but nothing that's definite about kind of what was up with Brock. But it was totally his worst game ever.
Yeah, I mean, when the sample size is that good, because the sample has been what, 8-0, 9-0 so far. So this is the first loss, right? So let's see how they react.
It's not a good game if we don't have the majority of time of possession.
Yeah, for sure.
When our offense is dominating when we can have like 38 minutes of the clock.
Mm-hmm.
That's almost like a guaranteed win, because us taking up all that time keeping their offense on the side, unless it's a team like a Kansas City or maybe like a Miami, fast scoring teams, Buffalo, those type of teams, they can get you. But when we can stay for that long, 38 minutes, somewhere around 38 minutes, I think that's almost like our golden number.
Well, yeah, and I'll just, like I said earlier with the Seahawks stats, I mean, it's frustrating. When you have 10 minutes majority time possession, you outgain them by 170 yards. I mean, it's just frustrating. I think both losses were very frustrating in different facets. You guys went in heavy favorites. We went in underdogs just by a little bit, but it still felt like a game we should have won.
Ladies of the Niners, my bad. I think I heard something about that and totally forgot.
Also, yeah, quick shout out to everybody in the chat. Steve-O, Niner Sickness, David McNiner, John LaJoy. Yeah. Oh, and I think I said David McNiner already.
Hey, David McNiner, Zin, if you go to 7-Eleven, was getting like $3 off if you use your 7-Eleven member discount or whatever. I got so many points there I don't even use.
So what were some positives from this game? Can you find any?
Randy Gregory.
Okay, he was getting to the quarterback.
Randy Gregory. Yeah. Sweet. And you're talking about his first game with us. And he came out and had an all right showing. So from here, we expect to see him do actually better. That's Fred Warner got an interception.
Oh, he did.
It's negated by all the bad tackling. There was a fumble aside. The tackling was so horrific. It's hard to find anything. Really, we missed both our kicks for field goals. I hear the wind is very complicated there at times, and I'm not, hey, Moody's going to have an off game, whatever. Good thing that he's having an off game essentially when everybody else is. So hopefully when other people have an off game, he can have an on game and get us a win. I don't know.
At the same time, can't have it.
No,
can't have
it. You can't. But hopefully he learned. Hopefully this is an investment in his knowledge for the future. And he can't beat himself up over this, because we need him in the right state of mind to move on from this so he can start nailing them things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we want a 50-yarder. We haven't seen a lot of 50-yarders. We want to be able to regularly get a 50-yarder.
Mm-hmm.
Like that. Like, come on, Jake. That's what you're here for. We're looking to be able to, if our stuff stalls out a little closer than normal, we can kind of guarantee you to get us one.
Dave McNiner says the best player on the field was Mitch Wisnowski, punted 6 times, 52-yard average.
Well,
I don't want to see this performance duplicated.
So there's things to take in consideration with that. We were also punting from bad field position, so it means that he was able to open up his leg a lot more than if you were, stalling out midfield and just kicking, 50 yards to, hopefully not go in the end zone, which could come up to, like 35. So
yeah, we had a punt this weekend. It either went out it had to have reached the end zone. We punted from like midfield, and that pisses me off more than anything when we get a touchback and do that, because it's like, dude, we should have just arm punted it. We probably would have got better field position.
Oh, you know what? To talk about David's point, yeah, hey, Mitch did good, but I remember bringing Mitch here because he had different types of kicks, right? It was our version of, what's your punter's name? Dixon?
Fuck yeah, Michael Dixon.
Michael Dixon. We wanted a guy with Australian type of kick set. So where was the banana ball? Where was the ball to make somebody muff the kick so we can get a chance to get the ball back even further downfield? This is one of those games where it's like you save those trick kicks, and this is the time when you pull it out. You know what I mean? This is the time you show them something they haven't seen before, and you hopefully get them to put the ball on the ground.
I hear you.
Is she cute?
How about not trying to change it again, but the Seahawks defense, their performance is starting to remind me a lot of the 2011, like before they were officially named the Legion of Boom, right? The offense just went out there and shit the bed, but the defense got it done for you. That's what our last game versus the Giants felt like, and that's what this game felt like as well, because it felt like a loss from 2011 where it's just like, God, why can't we get any offense going? Our defense is awesome. The rookie Witherspoon,
Yes.
I don't know if you watched any highlights of him from this week too. We're playing him in the slot, sent him on a blitz a few times. He tipped one pass, almost tipped another, rushing, getting his hands up. And boy, I believe he allowed 2 catches for 24 yards. Trey Brown, our other corner, allowed, God, I think it was 3 catches for 30 yards with an interception. And I didn't look at what Woolen did, but they really seem Jamal Adams is fitting in. It's just, God, we need to get that red zone offense going. That's the most frustrating part. It's not even that we can't get the ball down the field. It's not even that. If we couldn't get the ball down the field, it's like, okay, we fucking suck, right? Yeah, we suck. I get it. We can't get the ball down the field. But when you're great in between the 20s, and then all of a sudden you get inside the 20-yard line, you can't do anything. That is so frustrating.
We had that for a while, and a lot of it was because the field condenses so bad it's hard to get our schemes to work correctly, especially the ones that, because our good schemes all work downfield more, behind the linebackers, behind a deep linebacker. You know what I mean? Like in front of the safeties, kind of.
Especially with DK Metcalf.
So that's your bread and butter, and then you come down, condense the field, and where you're normally throwing the ball from where your quarterback is essentially hiking it, or your center's hiking it, is the end of the end zone. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of your sweet spot. So if you had a run game that you could depend on, that would help you inch towards the line, and you would be able to use play action and get the ball right behind the linebackers as they suck up a little bit. And so that'll so when it condenses,
which is just old school
give you more
football.
of a but
and then I think a lot of that has to do with our right tackle still being gone. He'll be back next week, hopefully. You know, what was it?
Candace has always reminded me that you guys don't have an offensive line that's built for run blocking.
Yeah, no, we don't.
And I think that's probably maybe your issue.
But Jake Curhan, our backup right tackle, allowed nine pressures last weekend, which is completely unacceptable, which is completely the opposite of what he's been doing lately. So I just, my hair's a mess. Yeah, let's get this figured out. What? Oh, I pulled my hat
You're wearing a hat.
Yeah, I went like this.
Well, it's gonna be a mess. It's underneath the hat. You want me to hook you up with my stylist?
Nope, sure don't. Is it yourself?
No.
Maybe.
I went in there, got the haircut. I come back home, and there's like a little bit that she kind of missed that like needed to get cut down because it's not it's not that prevalent on the other side type of thing. You know what I mean? Like, you know how your head is weird in certain areas, your hair, how it comes in. So I'm like, oh, I guess I got to do this myself.
Yeah, I got to do that almost every time. But yeah, so anyways, just an all-around bad red zone offense is fucking frustrating. So I don't think Geno's the issue. Go ahead, Seahawks fans. You can go ahead and say that Geno's the issue, but how is he when he doesn't have time to throw the ball?
Did you have any questionable calls from like your offensive coordinator or your coach or anything like that during the game where you're like, because I'll tell you why I asked this question. That'll give you an idea of what I'm asking. So what was it? We get the ball back. And we've got the lead. We get the ball back.
Mm-hmm.
And Kyle immediately comes out on first down, right? I can't remember how much time's left in the game, but it's like it's just a couple of minutes. It's like it's not the 2-minute warning yet. Yeah, in the fourth quarter, right? We got the lead, and he comes out and he throws the ball, and it's incomplete. And now it's 2nd and 10, and he tries to throw the ball again, and it's incomplete. And then he has to throw the ball on 3rd down, and it's incomplete. So we take no time off the clock, and it's like, hey, bub, at least run the ball on 1st down to get the clock going, because then if you get a gimme pass in the line of play, you can then keep the call going again. So if you want to call these passes, just at least call the run first. And he just doesn't, and it screws him to the point where we leave time. Even if we went 3 and out, there might not. I don't know.
That is something I did want to bring up. So Geno Smith threw the ball 41 times. When you're the Seahawks, if you throw the ball 41 times, usually you lose. Like, yeah. I don't care who's your offensive coordinator. It could be Darrell Bevell. It could be Brian Schottenheimer, Shane Waldron, I forget, Jeremy Bates, whoever. You know, we need to play good defense, run the ball, control the clock. I mean, we did a good job about controlling the clock, right? But only 25 rushing attempts split amongst 3 guys. I'd like to. It would have made me a lot happier if it was like 35-35. So.
Yeah.
35-30, however the math works.
I'm trying to figure out how many run plays we had, because normally,
I'll tell you right now.
If we don't have a certain.
I'm right by there. Sorry. Let's see. Rushing 25 rush attempts, 27 pass attempts.
Yep. So if we run like more than 30 times a game, we've got a good chance of winning. If we run the ball 35 times a game, it's almost like a guaranteed win, which I guess Kyle thinks that the game is depicting on what he can call, I'm guessing, which I'm thinking just like, how about run the ball? Run the ball until it works. We run with Christian McCaffrey until he gets injured. And then we try and okay, so these guys are getting a lot of penetration on us on both sides of the ball all game long. And next thing you know, you want to bring in Elijah Mitchell, who's kind of Mr. Glass. And we've got Jordan Mason, who came in the game, and I think it was 2 carries for 20-something yards. I think it was 22 yards, so it was like 11 something to carry.
5 carries, 27 yards, but still averaging 5.4 yards per carry.
And the reason why I'm like, why didn't we use him more is because, you were talking about him. He's mini Marshawn, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you got guys who are busting up the front, you're going to get better more rushing yards off a guy who is built to go through the middle all the time and bang up the defensive guys. That's who this guy, like, why are we sending Elijah Mitchell essentially to his grave? I'm surprised he didn't get hurt. It made no sense to me. Also, they're getting so much penetration. Where's the screen passes? Where's the screen passes to check the defense?
Mm-hmm.
Also, like jumbo formation. If we played a lot of jumbo formation, I'm pretty sure Kyle doesn't even have a jumbo formation, but like a real jumbo formation with an extra offensive lineman, he could make them have to bring out more defensive linemen to cover his scheme, and he could make them go through their rotation because an extra lineman out there is one less person to rotate in with, and it's one more person you have to figure out who you're going to rotate in for. You know what I mean? So if we could have done something like that to kind of tire them out and then turn around in the second half and run our football, which they probably hadn't seen before, or they've seen before, but how are you going to do that when Christian McCaffrey and everybody's going and you're sucking wind because you've been working overtime all game?
Mm-hmm. No, I gotcha. Yeah. I wonder how much of that is skewed though, just because obviously you run the ball a lot when you're up big.
No, it's a pattern, because it's totally a pattern. It's not like, in fact, we run the ball kind of worse in the end of the game in garbage time, because everybody sells out to the run because they know we're just going to run, and our yards normally go down, as far as I have noticed. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, my perception is like we kind of don't do so well, but we'll just cut people all game long, first, second, third quarter in our dominant wins, which is usually those 35 rush a game.
Yeah.
And with the weather being as it was, why not? Kyle won't try anything. He thinks if Christian McCaffrey can't do it, then nobody else can. Well, how about you understand that Christian McCaffrey has got a certain style, and when everybody's in the backfield, Christian McCaffrey's style doesn't work so well.
Yeah.
So get some guy who can go forward and get yards. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Who cares if it's 3 yards a clip? Christian McCaffrey's average was what, 3 point something?
Yeah.
At least the other guy.
3.2.
Yeah. Like, use Christian out of the backfield and passing and all that. I was saying, let's go with a dual running back set. You fake up the middle to Jordan Mason, and then you give it to Christian McCaffrey going out and around the edge. You know what I mean? Or you give it to Jordan Mason and you fake it to Christian McCaffrey. Now all those linebackers have to sit. And the defensive lineman, you want to get too much penetration? Oh, good. That'll take you completely out of the play.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I didn't have but not anything that comes to mind. I didn't even rewatch the game yet. I haven't had
I haven't either. It's it's on
it.
my
Almost
list, but I haven't
it
been getting
almost
to it.
sucks. Even if, especially as Seahawks fans, the Huskies have a huge win on Saturday. Probably the biggest win, and
I know I was going to ask you about that.
yeah, probably the biggest win since like the 1990s, right? So the Huskies have that giant win, and then just
They
something
went to
like
the
that.
Rose Bowl with Leaf.
That was the
The 90s
Cougars.
that you're talking about.
That was
Oh,
the
that was the
Cougars.
Cougars. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So it just, after that game in your head, you're kind of thinking, maybe the Hawks, the football gods don't give you two games like that in one weekend. So, but whatever. 3-2, we can dig ourselves out of this hole. I'm fully
Dude,
confident.
I thought if you would have caught them last week, you might have got that win. You know what I mean? Like, because they were
Not
still.
even that, because we still shut their offense down. That's what's frustrating. It's not like, oh, Burrow and Chase are back. Let's pull that up. What? Sorry.
No, I thought that was funny. Burrow and Chase are back. You know what I mean? Like it was headline. Burrow and Chase
Yeah.
are back. Watch out for the Bengals.
So Burrow, 24 for 35, 185 yards. Chase, 6 receptions for 80 yards. But I wonder if we have splits to where, let me see on this, to where I can break it down in the first half compared to the second half. Sorry. Because the first half, they were definitely getting away, like going away with it, right? Fuck. I don't know if I can do this.
Are you looking at the play-by-play?
No, that's going to take way too long.
Oh.
Let's look up sorry. It's great content.
Shout out to everybody in the chat. Oh, we got Bebop Jones in the house.
What's up, Bebop?
Yeah, we got Jess from East Coast Red and Gold Podcast. Make sure to go and check her out. Her, Maddie B, Bex, and Ty had a show earlier tonight. So make sure to go check that on the replay. Shout out to Jess. She's like I would say like the number 2 matriarch in the 49ers community.
Mm-hmm.
Her and Miss Debbie Ryan is probably, I would say Miss Debbie Ryan's number 1, but not no slight on you, Jess. It's a close second.
So here, I got this. So Jamar Chase, the first half, 5 catches for 67 yards, which would mean the second half he had 1 catch for 13 yards.
Yeah. I guess I'd have to watch the game more, but it seemed like last week they were struggling a little bit, and there they kind of caught on right at the end and were able to do something.
Well,
and to
Burrow,
me, I was
the first half defense looked just ridiculous. The Bengals were just marching down the field. Granted, we were marching down the field on them. Burrow completed 18 of 22 for 143 in the first half and 2 touchdowns. So, which means in the second half, I know he threw the pick in the second half. Let's do the math really quick. He had 6 completions for 42 yards in the second half and an interception.
Are you playing Cardinals next week?
Yeah.
Bryant was asking.
Oh, yeah, we are. We'll be at home.
And
we got 2 home
was
games
coming through with the Annals.
So we got the Cardinals and the Browns, and then I believe it's the Ravens. 2 very winnable games are coming up. The Cardinals a winnable game, the Browns a winnable game. And then week 9, I believe we go to Baltimore. So let's hope we're 5-2 going into Baltimore.
Bro, The Browns secondary ain't no joke.
No, I know, but neither is ours.
Yeah, but I'm talking about against your offense. Like, watch out.
Yeah.
Now,
We'll see.
I don't know how. If Brock could have not been so overthrowing to Brandon Ayuk, it seemed like Brandon Ayuk was like, there was lots of people open that got like overthrown.
Yeah.
And granted, Brandon Ayuk had dropped his first couple of passes after his first catch, and then was it before? Anyway, he had issues catching, and he didn't catch another catch until like the third or fourth end of the third quarter or beginning of the fourth quarter. So like there was passes that were thrown to him, but most of them were overthrown. He dropped some, and it was like, let's say the majority, not most, the majority of them were overthrown to him. Some were dropped, and like there's so much offense just left on the sideline all game long. So much.
Yeah, that's just how I felt about the Seahawks. Not the play calling like you. Mine was just the execution.
Well, there was some play calling that definitely, like I was like explain the play calling I explained, but like during the majority of the game, like we needed screen passes here and there. Set that up. We needed to kind of stick to the run game more. Switch out the backs. We got backed by committee. You got, I think it was 3 or 4 guys. Ray came in for a sweep, threatened the sweep more. Do something. But everybody when they got their chance wasn't doing a great job. And I don't know if they were put in if the play was the best, the most optimal play for against the scheme at the time. I kind of thinking like Kyle was put in a box by the defensive coordinator. Can't remember his name, but he doesn't have a very good record against that guy. And it seemed like that should happen again.
Yeah. No, I totally hear you. Well, I can't make this Corey's. I'm going to send him my picks. I'm assuming you're going over there.
Well, yeah, I got to go take care of Corey.
I'm sorry. I'm going to send him my picks for sure. What do you have going on the rest of the week?
We got Thursday. Well, obviously Corey's show. And then Thursday, I'll be streaming with Corey for Thursday Night Football. Friday show. Yeah, start it all over again Monday.
Yeah, hopefully a victory Monday, right? Oh, you guys, never mind. Hopefully a victory Monday night. We will be
streaming the 49er game on Monday.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Yes.
Yeah. I'll be going on with John LaJoy tomorrow at 6.
Oh, yeah? Your channel? His channel?
His channel.
He's got his up and running.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to be going live or it's pre-recorded. I think he said it was pre-recorded. It's going to be released later. I could be wrong. We could be going live. So just make sure to go check it out. Even, you'll be streaming the game. But afterwards,
once you figure it out, you should put it in the community tab. Find the link. If you're going live, you should put it in the community tab because I'm sure people would like to find John's channel.
Yeah, for sure. I will definitely do that. But with that, any closing statements on this week?
Did you hear about the lady at the Chargers game?
Yeah, she's not actually a Vikings fan. Her son plays for a local league team called the Vikings.
Well, so this is, I guess she was at a game though, right? But if I remember her talking on Pat McAfee, they said, how'd you become a fan? And she says, well, I became a fan when I moved here like 20 years ago. Right. So that doesn't say that she wasn't a fan of a previous team and then became like they became her other team. And I even put in Pat McAfee's a comment in Pat McAfee's video. I was like, well, if you think about it, if you're, a Chargers or a Vikings fan, it would be, it'd kind of be good to be a fan of, both teams, because you got a better chance of seeing one championship in your lifetime.
Yeah. Well, I doubt it.
Maybe you need
I
3 or
did
4
not.
teams.
John, I did not realize. I was kind of looking up your name while Ryan was talking there. I did not realize the guy Taco off the league is also named John LaJoy. So that's crazy, and it will be a pre-recorded show.
Okay. Shoot, John.
I'll send you his YouTube page when I find it.
Yeah, just drop the link in the chat for everybody, if you would, please.
Having a hard time finding it right now.
You know what? When he finds it, he will put out a community tab with it.
You know what? I'll put out a community tab and I'll tweet it out. How about that?
There we go. Joe's got it.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. Hopefully next week we come in with a little more positive vibes. At least for me, I don't really give a shit how Ryan's team's feeling. But yeah, that was it. Thank you, everybody in the chat. I'd name you all, but there's way too many of you to list, which is a total good thing. So hopefully we shouted you out during the live. And with that, thank you.
We out.